Hello you lovely people and welcome. Now I wasn't going to do a new update video for the Miltech Simulations CH-47, but with the pushback of SU-15 and the tandem rotor update for the helicopter, I thought I might as well release a new video because they did an update yesterday, and today's the 26th of the 3rd 2024. We're just going to quickly go through it and then we'll have a look at the actual Chinook itself. So as you can see, this is the release notes. So this is the initial release. That was when it was released. That was the update shortly afterwards. As you can see, this is the latest release. Might as well combine the two together actually. So from the 21st, so the first further adjustments to downwash effects, that's been changed again in the next update. OSPD switch fixed to spring loaded 3 position. APU and generator switches now have a spring loaded test position. APU is no longer on the test position on cold and dark. Fuel slider prevented going to 0 to avoid engine failure. Altimeter drum fixes, pilot models replaced by custom models, FPS issues related to broken pilot animations fixed, pilot and co-pilot can be hidden on the EFB. The ADF bug on the rightmost drum fixed, new buildings for RAF Odium, improved memory consumption and performance on included custom airports, option to hide rearview mirror added to EFB, which is a nice one. I'm glad they added that. Option to fold seats, I'm also happy that that's been included. Documentation link and QR code added directly to EFB. So now when you go to the tablet, you can scan the QR code with your phone and you can get the documents up as quickly as that, which is great. Rotor blade animations improved. Era GPS can now be moved to glare shield position. Center console position is still available. That's good because looking down in between the seats to look at your GPS position was a little bit awkward in my opinion, but now that they've put it into the glare shield, makes life a little bit easier. The HSI localizer and glide slope deviation scales adjusted to correct for offsets. Camera quick views for side door, back door and hook door, so you can get to those positions rather quickly. Fixed a bug after an internal load is added. Aircraft moves slightly down, so weighted, triggering automatic closing of the slide, basically the ramp, the fold out ramp, and not permitting slide to extend again. Yeah, I remember that happening, but that's been fixed. Added cold and dark spots to military compounds, US 01, which I think is Camp Resilience, and US 02, which is in Kuwait, I believe. Rotor animations improved rotor blur as well as a collective effect in blur animations, cyclic effect in rotor animations removed for realism. Fuel flow gauge marked as RPM times 100 rather than pph times 100 fixed. Added dirty, dusty livery variations to Army Tan, RAF and Australian Army. Water drop from bucket now possible outside missions with keybind toggle water rudder, which is great because there are a couple of other helicopters that are available. Also use water rudder for releasing the water from a Bambi bucket. US Army green livery texture fix, adjusted engine shutdown sequence timings, disabled mixture controls on engines to avoid issues with dying engines and incorrect hardware configurations. Fuel pressure caution lights logic revised, caution lights now extinguished when using crossfeed. Torque readings adjusted further. LAX fire mission, LAX. Fire mission start location relocated, issues with fire not visible fixed. Adjusted yaw MOI to increase stability at high speeds, increased friction on rotor. Rotor now slows down faster in case of engine failure. Now we get on to the latest release. So misplaced PAPI lights at Bryant Army Airfield are now fixed. Co-pilot altimeter in op fixed. Saving EFB options is now possible, but it's experimental, so leaving the aircraft, saving it, and then when you get back into it again, it's how you left it, which is great. HSI in GPS mode is now locked to waypoint bearing as programmed on Aero GPS. Engines on half also make hydraulic 1 and 2 lights extinguish even with transfer off. Lighting added to cargo bay, which is a nice little extra. Hydraulic transfer logic edited. Keybinds added. So pilot searchlight and co-pilot searchlight are on landing light toggle, taxi light toggle. Top collision light is wing light toggle. Bottom collision light beacon light toggle. Formation light logo light toggle. APU starter is on APU starter. APU shutdown is APU off. So today, like I mentioned earlier, was supposed to be a predicted or sort of a target date for SU-15 to be released, so that the new tandem rotor flight model could be brought into play, but unfortunately that's been pushed to the second week of April. So this is what version 1.1 will bring. I'm guessing the list will get longer as we get closer to release, but new native tandem flight model, new native engine model with accurate torque readings, engine condition levers, ground position now limits RPM of engines and rotors as per the real aircraft documentation. If some of you are not aware, if you leave the ECLs in the ground position, you can still take off, where they are supposed to limit the RPMs just for the ground use, I suppose. Torque gauge now behaves closer to the expected torque readings. The automatic flying control system or autopilot system now enabled with 3 modes: heading select, barrow alt hold and rad alt hold. Sound triggers adjusted for FM engine changes. Optional sound filtering for high pitched frequencies, experimental. Optional animated pilot visible in the cockpit. Optional accessories: antennas, skis, engine sound filters and remove before flight tags. Support for complex GPS systems, GTN 750, and final corrections and edits for checklists. So that's all to come, and I'll be honest, it can't come quick enough because we really want to fly this new tandem flight model. So let's get into the Chinook and have a look at the new changes and take it for a spin. Right, so we're going to take a quick look in the livery section. As you can see, we've got the Australian Army Dusty, US Army Tan Dusty, and the UK Royal Air Force Dusty. For this video, I'm just going to quickly choose Royal Air Force Dusty, and we're going to check out Odiham as a base as a whole, just to see what's new. So yeah, let's jump in. So before we get the beast started up, we're just going to have a look at the generator switches. We've got spring-loaded test switches now, and also the APU generator is no longer starting in cold and dark in test position. But if we test these switches, so we stick them into test, as you can see, they spring load back into off, which is a nice feature. We'll go through the EFB quickly and go to config, and we'll get rid of this mirror, which I'm not a fan of, so hide that mirror. I'm going to fold the cargo seats. You have the option to disable the downwash effect if you have FPS hits. You can disable that. You can also hide the pilot and co-pilot, and this is where you can also show the GPS on the glare shield, or you can change it to down here in the console. Take it off for now. Doors have all been changed, so you've got the barn door on the side, and you can even have the back door in a level position, which is nice. It shows that the aircraft itself as a module is growing and getting ever more options, and we're also getting more add-ons as the as updates come along. So let's just get this started and get on with it. Right, so we're all fired up and ready. One thing I have noticed is that the sounds have improved quite a lot since the previous version, and if you didn't know, the sounds are being produced by Echo 19. They have released sound packages for the Mustang, Spitfire, F-18, F-16 on DCS, and they have done a fantastic job with those, and likewise they're doing a fantastic job with the CH-47. And that is going to change over time. They're going to tweak with the levels, add different sounds in. So what you hear now is not the final version, obviously. So yeah, there will be differences as the updates come along as well. So let's have a look at the livery. Let's jump outside. And as you can see, it's got a rather dusty, weathered look, like it's been out in some sort of sand pit somewhere. Which is nice to see, a nice used variant of the livery. And again, you can switch the landing lights and taxi lights on and off using the bound keys, which is also a nice feature, and a lot more modules are using that when they are released. Let's get this thing moving. So we're gonna do is have a quick look around the airfield. Take the parking brake off. We do have the power steering on. I have noticed that 27 Squadron over there have a their own squadron building there. I'm wondering if any of the others have the same. We can always check that out. They're doing a great job of the scenery as well. I mean, just adding things like the old World War II watchtower here is a nice feature. You know, I don't think it'll ever be 100% accurate because there'll just be too much work involved. But we can. Well, they're doing a fantastic job as it is anyway. It's better than anything else that we can get our hands on currently. I'm just going to get out here on the runway and just have a quick look around. I'm just going to use this bit here. Put the brakes on, trim it out slightly, and I'm just going to go up from here. Okay, to the hover. I'm just going to check out the buildings over here, the east side of the airfield, as there should be another squadron building over here somewhere, but whether that's got labels on it or not is another thing. And you can see we've got some CH-47s parked over on the apron, and another building there which I'm guessing could be the squadron building. I don't know RF Odium very well, but from what I have seen of it, they're doing a fantastic job. One even here having been worked on with some sort of scaffolding added, which is strange to see. Looks a bit like a sea knight, if I'm honest, with the sponson sticking out the side there. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job, like I say. And Bryant Army Airfield as well is also looking more and more better as the updates come out, which is great. If we slow this down now to this side of the airfield, sort of the west side, see we've got more parking areas here. Pretty cool. And just with the small tweaks that they've made with the flight model as well, flying low level, putting it in the hover is so easy now. Go outside, there's no frame hit with a downwash, which is great. really starting to come into its own now. So let's have a little throw around. I'm not going to leave Odium, I'll bring it back down on the ground in a moment. I've got the blade slap, sounds lovely. Great stuff. If you get this thing bound, all the keys bound nicely, and you've got everything available to you, like a HOTAS of some sort, then flying this is a breeze. It really is. It's one of the easiest helicopters I've flown. It's not like the Llama or the Alouette 3, which can be a bit of a pain in the bum because of the tail rotor. But yeah, this thing's beautiful. Then you've got your generic buildings around the outside, which unfortunately don't match properly, but are better than nothing. There we go. And this thing doesn't want to fly sideways anymore, which is brilliant. I mean, I can stick this thing in the hover and it will basically stay there now, unless of course you have some sort of wind causing the effect of a side slip or anything like that. So I'm going to bring this thing in now and park it back down on the apron. But they're doing an absolutely fantastic job, they really are. Just unfortunate that Asobo are ruining it with the delay of SU-15. Kind of was always going to be in the works, I guess. These things take time, but still doesn't mean I can't moan about it. Everyone moans about everything, so I'll join in. Let's get this thing taxied back. Okay, I'm going to set it down now. An absolute joy to fly now. Be a little bit better when the automatic flying control system comes into play for long distance, but for the moment, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you can trim it out so you don't really get any hand or arm ache anyway. Slow it down slightly. Let's get it parked up and shut down. I think I might keep it so that we can listen to the shutdown sounds and watch the rotor slow down and see the changes there. Let's choose a spot to park in. Well, that one's taken. Down 2, I think. Sorry if you can barely hear me either. I do have a new condenser mic. I'm trying to get the hang of it and trying to get the sounds to a decent level. I've never had a condenser mic before, so just means I don't have a microphone hanging in front of my face when I'm flying, which is always a bonus. Park up, throttle down, brakes on. Okay, so let's shut the engines down and see what happens outside. That's not a bad shutdown time, to be fair, in the grand scheme of things. Pretty sure that the Royal Air Force version of the CH-47 has a rotor brake, but don't quote me on that. So, yeah, it's nice. They've got some great little features added on. The flight model itself has been tweaked quite nicely. Extra buildings for RAF Odiham. There's extra parking at Bryant Army Airfield, not Bryant Army Airfield, US 01 and US 02, which I believe is Resilience, Camp Resilience, and there's one in Kuwait as well. So, stuff being added all the time, being tweaked all the time, being updated all the time, hence the reason why I haven't released as many videos, because every time I go to release one, they go and update it. So, but because of the pause on SU-15 until the second week of April, I'm releasing this one now. So, I hope that's been of interest, and if you've got this far, thank you for watching, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.